Future filmmakers, I just wanted to go into a quick deep dive on some of the equipment that I use when I shoot, and maybe it can give you some insight on some equipment that you can purchase and want to use for yourself when shooting your documentaries, your short films, or even your content. When I don't have to fly out of town, I like to use my Canon C300 Mark II. I have two of them. Why? I like to get two different focal lengths when I'm shooting. I use these two cameras, any two of my cinematic lenses. I can use anything from my 25mm to my 75mm. My 25mm to get that wide shot, that 75mm to get that close shot, especially when the subject is talking about something important that I think should be captured. Now, I know during editing, I could just punch in and then punch out, but I prefer to shoot it in, what they say, real time, so that I can get that look that I'm looking for. Again, shooting is variable. That's how I like to shoot. When I'm going out of town and I have to fly out, I like to shoot with my Lumix GH5. I love these cameras because it gives me the look that I'm looking for. I like to shoot in 4K. I like to shoot using 422 10-bit. If you don't know what 422 10-bit is, that's the best output that you can get from any camera. Any camera that has 422 10-bit, it'll give you great output that you're looking for. But again, if you don't mind shooting a 1080, 1080 is the best as well, especially if you're going to post it to YouTube and you know people are just going to watch it on their cell phones. What I like to use with my GH5, which I also have two of these as well, I like to use these adapters. This adapter is a Velo adapter. This is a micro four thirds sensor. This micro four thirds adapter can attach to my cinematic lens. Once you attach it onto your camera, you can then use your cinematic lenses to shoot anything that your heart desires. If you don't want to use your cinematic lenses, which is an EF mount lens, I can also use my Sigma 18 to 35mm lens. This is a telephoto lens. This is a cinematic lens. We're going to get into that in another video. But again, when I'm going out of town and I know I have to fly and I don't have to check any bags with staff, I like to go with my Lumix GH5. Beautiful cameras. When I'm in town and I want to shoot something maybe around my neighborhood, or I can take this camera out of town, I like to shoot with my Lumix S5IIX, which is a full frame camera. So the Canon C300 Mark II is an S35, my GH5 is a micro four thirds, and this Lumix S5IIX is a full frame camera. What I love about this camera, it can go either way. I can keep it in town, I can fly with it out of town, and I can also use this camera to shoot content. Right now I'm shooting it from my cell phone so you guys can see the dynamics of the different cameras that I use. And what I most love about this camera is I can also use an adapter, which is a full frame to EF mount. And again, I can use my trusted mieke lenses, or I can use my Sigma 18 to 35mm lens. What I also love about this camera is the lens that comes with it is a Lumix 20 to 60mm lens. Now, the lenses that I do use, which is the cinematic lenses, they're called prime lenses. Prime lenses mean it doesn't focus in or focus out. It sits there, and however you move your tripod, it actually shoots at wherever you set your tripod. As opposed to this kit lens, you can zoom in and out. But when you zoom in, you lose some of the light. In other words, it gets darker when you zoom in. When you zoom back, you get more light. So that's something for you to know. Anytime you use a lens where you zoom in and zoom out, you can either lose light or gain light, except for the Sigma 18 to 35mm. This is definitely a trusted lens. It looks great with anything that you shoot. What I love about this lens is it's at what they call an f1.8, meaning you can zoom in or zoom out. It will always remain at f1.8. So you're not losing light, you're actually getting a lot of great light that's coming into the lens. So if you get your hands on a Sigma 18-35 f 1.8, hold on to it. It's a beautiful, beautiful lens. Again, going back, you guys seen some of my videos. I love the Mieke brand of lenses. I have a 25mm, 35mm, 50mm, and a 75mm. Now, I could have gotten the 12mm or the 100mm. I just chose to go with the 4 lenses that I have because my style of shooting calls for something that's a little wide, and I like to get tight in to bring my audience in closer, especially with the 75mm. I don't mean to talk you guys' head off, but I did say I was going to go into a small deep dive. And when I'm recording with my C300 or my Lumix GH5 or even the S5IIX, I like to use the Tascam DR10L. This microphone is absolutely beautiful. If you saw my video from a couple of days ago, it has dual recording, meaning you can use one recording for whatever it is that you're putting out, whatever it is you want to edit, and it has a backup recording just in case you happen to lose that first recording. Back in the days, I used to use wireless microphones, and sometimes when I go to edit, it would cut out and I would lose a lot of great audio. That's why, again, I like to use the Tascam DR10L. These are the best. I will leave links to everything so you guys can look it up. And last but not least, because I'm 52 years old and my eyes don't work as well as they used to, I have to use reading glasses. I invested in a Portkeys PT5 II monitor. These monitors are great. It's not anything that's fancy. I'm not going to go into specifics. That's not what this channel is about. But the Portkeys PT5 II monitor is the best monitor, in my personal opinion, that I love to use. I own 3 of them. So, just to give you guys a quick rundown, for my main workhorses, I have 2 C300 Mark IIs. When I'm traveling out of town, I have my 2 Lumix GH5 cameras. And when I'm in town or out of town, I have my S5IIX, and that's by Lumix as well. And I also use that camera for content creation. But don't be fooled. You can also use your iPhone. I'm not going to say the other brand because I don't like the other brand, but I use my iPhone to record this content so that you guys can see what it is I do, how I record, what I used to record, and hopefully to give you guys a boost to get things started in your career. And as you can see, I'm wearing my brand, Sparksfleye. This is my company, Sparksfleye.com. We put out a documentary last year called Sparkplug, the Melvin Sparks documentary. I'm currently working on 3 different documentaries at the same time, which is hard, but I'm determined to get it done. And as always, people, never forget, shoot your shot. Don't wait, create. And don't forget to follow Sparksfleye.com. Peace.